All right, morning, guys. So I've got a couple things going on here. The chart on the right is the Goldilocks. It's doing pretty well today, up 300. And then we're testing a couple other strategies. It's a price pattern one and a reversal one. I haven't taken any trades yet. They're slower. And then these TPP, that's the targets. It's actually TTP, Targets Trading Pro. That's a typo right there. Let me go back to that workspace. So this is a Haniza Renko 24, the brick size 20, and then reversal for NQ. And then we got a 1 minute NQ. These are the trend candles and ES 1000 volume. So they have a $400 profit target. And max loss 750. It looks like NQ hit a max loss, so that's not going to trade anymore. And ES hit his profit target, so the trend candles aren't going to trade anymore. And what trade is this thing in? The ES. Why is it an ES trade? I don't see anything that's got an ES trade. Better manually do that one to see. Holding away. 41. 10 candles, they're not going to trade anymore today. I'll just turn them all off. Oh, it's a simple price pattern, huh? It's log 2 by ES. ES chart, here it is. I don't see this log 2. Oh yeah, from here. And we're just hitting view up right now on ES. I look at NQ. I'm at this $260,000, $250,000 count at Apex. About 2/3 of the way. The NQ's trying to get down to VWAP, but ES is already there. All right, and just took a short NQ. So we do have, we look at financial Jews. They've got, these times are mountain. This is, yeah, that's my time zone. So at 8 o'clock my time, 10 Eastern, you got ISM manufacturing. So if you're not in a trade, probably want to turn the thing off. But so I have a tool that I use quite a bit. It's this platform target calculator. Show you how that works. So you can pick different. I've got 5 different prop firms. So this is an Apex account. You just click on the row you want, so it loads all the 250 stuff. I'm looking at my Autotrader. I'm at 262, 275, 46. And my auto leg is 255, 35, 41. So I'd use $160 of my 6,500. That's what I've got left. But I have another $2,700 to pass this. And this ratio is the profit target divided by the available drawdown that you've got. Now 250 starts at a 2.31 profit target divided by drawdown. And I've gotten it down now to 0.43. So basically I've got more than double my profit target and drawdown remaining. And I don't want to do 27 contracts, but say I did 3 or 5. I need 28 points to pass. It depends on how many ticks of slippage you used. So I'm still kind of far away, did 27, 24. But I'm doing pretty well. I mean, 15,000 and I've got 12,275 in profit. But this helps as you're getting close. Like say we're at 264, 400. And if you click on the max and it sets your drawdown to the maximum. So in this case, I would have $600. So if I had 2 contracts, I would need 15.25 points or 61 ticks. So I can set on my ATM 61 ticks as a profit target with a 2 lot, and then it should pass this thing. So that's how I use this. So normally when I pass, I just get right over, like here, 265. But anyway, that's here, no, there. So here's financial juice. We have 5 minutes to the report, so I'm not gonna put any trades on right now. Now Goldilocks, this is a longer term thing. If you go to Aeromir.com/Goldilocks, put it in the chat. And it talks about it here, the performance for a year. Kind of these things, like Trading Partner design these. I need to update this. $2,500 drawdown is his maximum for a year. And this thing is, it kind of fills the bill here. So if you click on this, you can see over the May 27th of last year to this year, it was made 21,000 with a $2,100 drawdown. Nice profit factor, about 57% winners. 1.18 trades per day. Average time in the trade's about 6.5 hours. So it does stay in trades a long time. And then they've been forward testing this since May 1st. Actually, let me update this with the open trade right now. Why is that so big? 10%. Okay. All right. So today is the 2nd. And Goldilocks was long at 33.80. 33.80. 2 lot. Looks like it's up. Okay, so this spreadsheet will update now. It updates every minute. So up about 360. You can see it's pretty close to the live number. And so for the month of May, we were up 2,500. June, this is the first day of June, so we're up nicely for that. 360. Yeah, so that news is going to come up in about, let's see, where's my clock? There we go, a minute for that news. My financial juice is pretty good, so if you guys aren't using it, you can go to aeromir.com/FJ and just try it, make sure it still works. Financial juice. Oh, that's interesting. That was their Infusionsoft page, so they must have moved it. So just go to financialjuice.com. Let's see what the news is. Got this ISM manufacturing in 10 seconds. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm looking at market reaction. So it came in a little bit under forecast. Not too bad. Let's take a look here. All right, say a little bit lower on the NASI and on ES. Again, the trend candles aren't going to take any more trades, so not much point in showing those at the moment. Yeah, I turned them off because not much point in watching them if they're not going to take any trades, right? Looks like gold is rallying. It's trying to push higher into 3,400. The Goldilocks, again, just trades 2 MGC contracts. I did a bunch of testing with Goldilocks, and Right now we're using 200 tick stops, 500 tick profit targets on micro gold contracts. I tested a whole bunch of different versions, bigger stops, bigger targets, smaller targets. And funny enough, the 200 and 500 seem to be the best, which is what my training partner set up. And I know he's a maniac with testing. He'll work 12, 13 hours a day doing this stuff. Let's see if there's anything else we need to know about here. Let's reload it. So the next report, we've got the Fed speaker, Logan, a couple of T-bill auctions, more Fed speaker. Powell is speaking at 1 Eastern. So but no more economic reports. So that's it for that for today. So an interesting thing with Trade Funder, I like those guys. They have this economic calendar, and these are high impact events, they call them, that you're not allowed to trade 2 minutes before or after. You have to be flat going through the report. So on the Aeromir homepage, I have a thing. If you're using Trade Funder, you can see where these Trade Funder events are and when they are. So the one we just had, if you're doing a Trade Funder account, you had to be flat for that. And tomorrow Jolts, and then Wednesday ISM services. So there's that. See when this got in. So Goldilocks went long here. It's like right around 5 a.m. So it's been in the trade 5 hours. So that did $260 or $250,000 count. I'm up 38.61 today with manual trading. I don't know if I can predict anymore. We got a landscaper coming over. Trying to decide if we want to sell the house and move back to Europe or just make the yard nicer just for us and we stay here. We got a 2.5% interest rate on our mortgage, so I hate to give that up. Yep. 4152. So again, if you're using this thing, look at my Autotrader Pro. I'm at 262, 566. I think I hit my target. Let's see. Yep, that's it. So again, if you hit max, it just sets this to 0, and your distance to to whatever your drawdown is. I wonder why it has this little formatting thing. So I'm $2,400 away from passing this valuation. So anyway, so I've got a bunch of dad jokes too. I was inspired by Matt Miller. So Thursday's dad joke was, why aren't dogs good dancers? They have 2 left feet. Kind of like that one, actually. I put that one in my database. Now NASDAQ's rallying a bit. Good thing I closed that short. Take dad jokes. Let's see. Next dad joke. I keep trying to lose weight, but it keeps finding me. Isn't that the truth? That's kind of like I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. That's an old one. I've already got this under my database. So what do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer. Here's a good one. This is one for today. Somebody's trying to call. Yeah, that's a con I got today. So I kind of goofed up with the Goldilocks with that. I had an account at Apex, and I was going to trade it in the big account at 250. So I set the contracts to like 20 micros, and it actually stuck it on my 50K account, blew it. So I was like, oh man. So I had to go reset it. But that reset account's up $400, so it's good. I just had an account. Oh, there it is. It's not here. Yeah, just took another short, made another couple $100. I'm at 44.20 for the day. So if I go back to my prop firm trader or target thing, I'm at now 262,834. And this is free to use anyone. Anyone can use it. And looks like it hit my target. Yes, I'm at my max drawdown. So I got $2,100 to go to pass. I'm at 12,800. I need to hit 15. So we're getting there. So right now it's basically 3-1 here. I wish I could sort these better. Oh, yeah. So there's the Target's Trading Pro, trading trend candles. I could have turned it back on and had it take more trades, but I think when you do that, it resets the account. Or the strategy, sorry. And my spreadsheets running, stop taking my website. GC 3396. Yeah, looks like it's updating. All right, yeah, just updated. So this thing's updating in real time. So I have a spreadsheet that updates my website, and then this pulls the updated price of gold every minute. You can see the last time I got it. So if I manually set this, let's go 33.99. And this will change fairly soon, but you can see it's updating the current price. So I have this to put in closed trades, P&Ls, and then this is the current one from here. It adds it all up, and that's the total for the day, and it puts it in here. So if you do a live account on your own, $10,000, I recommend that instead of 5, because it can have up to $2,500 drawdown. So this gives you like a 20% drawdown, and it's up 28%. So it's the 1st of May. All right. So again, this is it's this URL performance. Put that in the chat. There's the chat. There it is. So if I'm at live streaming, then you can always look at that spreadsheet and see how we're doing. And that also updates the information page. So if you go to aeromir.com/Goldilocks, that's the kind of information page where you can see all this information. This updates in real time. So that's kind of cool. There our live forward testing has been validating our back testing pretty well. It's pretty close. Now, just for the sake of argument, say you had a like a $20,000 account, right? And you're trading 2 MTC accounts. Then they'd be looking at about $2,500 drawdown maximum, which is around 10% on a 20K account. But then you're like doubling the account in a year, so 10% risk to double the account. Pretty decent. So Nunamaker runs a trading room with his trend candles. They're like a combo deal. If you go to aeromir.com/TTP, he's got like a special page he built for me. And that's his the chunk candles and his trading room. Yeah, it's 500 a month. So if you don't get the bundle, it's like 400 a month just for the trend candles. That's what Bob's charging. It's like gold's trying to push higher. A lot of times if you see a stock or futures, whatever, if it runs up, pulls back, runs up, pulls back, runs up, it keeps trying to push through, and at some point it will. So this is actually a pretty good setup for a breakout trade to the upside. Looks like it's trying to push higher. But again, Goldilocks is really slow. 4-minute bars, and it's in for like 6-7 hours typically. I had a trade the other day that was up, it was in the trade 11 hours. Yeah. I do have a collective 2 page that I started. It's kind of an experiment. I have a page there for Goldilocks. So again, I just started this. It just took its first trade. I think what they're doing, the $10,000 account, they started it at 9,817. Not sure exactly why. But it had $139 of profit earlier today, and I just closed it. It was down like 200. So once I was up, I was like, no, I'll just start off with a green day. That was a test trade to make sure the integration with NinjaTrader and Collective was working. It's kind of cool, actually. They have this transmit thing. It's a plugin for NinjaTrader. Then they give you an API key, and you connect to Collective with it, and it puts the trades in for you, so you don't have to do anything. So that's this account, this Collective Goldilocks. That's the one that's getting pushed. Now, I did put in a couple of NQ trades, but it rejected them on Collective because they don't have enough margin for that. So I think they're using overnight margin, not the day trading margin. What's the overnight margin for NGC? Let me look. We get this as perplexity. What is the exchange overnight margin for NGC checks? I have a couple of AIs that I use. I use Claude, Perplexity, and ChatGPT. All right, so the official exchange listing is $1,500 per contract. And I'm trading 2 of them, so you need $3,000. I can also ask like Claude. Claude's great for programming. They just released a new version 4. So let me put the same question in here and see what Claude says. Okay, looks like Claude found something. So Claude's saying 750. That's NinjaTrader. I need the exchange ones though. Yeah, so I think this is low. Let's try ChatGPT. Just plop in the same question. Initial margin 2,700. So pretty wide variation in the answers. So you got 2,700 from ChatGPT. Claude saying like 800, which is wrong. And Perplexity saying 1,500. And other brokers 2,700. So somewhere between here is probably right. So anyway, those are 3 AIs. You can see they're all different. So I did open up an account at Prop Shop Trader. I had joined Rob Casilli's group, Traders Dev group, about a year and a half ago. And Rod's a pretty stand-up guy. He's a futures broker. He's been trading futures for like 30 years. And he's been very successful. He's an investor in kombucha. I think he's a part owner or founder of Collective 2, if my understanding is correct. And I think he's also involved in Tick Blaze, which means he's also involved in that prop shop trader. And they said they're a real prop firm. So the prop shop trader is kind of like Trade Funder, and that they're basically looking for traders to move onto their prop desk eventually. And I think you can do 20 accounts with those guys too. So it's kind of nice. The Trade Funder, they have a rule I haven't seen any other firms use, a 15-second rule. You can't have trades less than 15 seconds. They don't want scalpers. So I have a countdown timer on one of my charts. So when I put a trade on, I'll set the targets pretty far away and wait till 15 seconds passes, then set it where I want it. The first 3 trades I had with Trade Funder, I was up like $125, and then I looked at the account and it was still flat. So I had to ask. I was like, "What's going on?" And they had 15-second rule. But the prop shop trader is interesting. I kind of like it. I'll show it to you. Let's see structure. And I'm using the Brave browser. So they have this evaluation phase is the warrior, they call it. And then they also have the gladiator, which is basically direct funded. So I just pick a plan. But you can see they're fairly close to other prop firms. Like this 500K is pretty big. And then one interesting thing with these guys, so if you click here and go to this page, so the purchase options. So for the warrior, this is again the evaluation one. And they've got 90% off on the warrior account. So this is your standard one. So $3,000 profit target, $2,500 drawdown. But you can pay a little more and increase the drawdown. So, you know, that chart I had on my website for the this target calculator, where it shows the ratio, and the higher the ratio, the harder it is to pass. Like a 300K at Apex, basically it's almost 3-to-1. So you got to make 20 grand, but only $7,500 drawdown, and that's intraday. So that is very challenging. But here you can actually say, well, I want to make that ratio 1-to-1. So if I do this, then I'll pay with 90% off, like $20 for a 50K account with a $3,000 drawdown. And again, this is an evaluation, so you got to pass it. And then if you go back to the other page, it costs, where is it? Here it is, $100 to convert it to a paid one. So you pay your $20 and then $100, and it should take, you know, this drawdown would be 3,000 if you don't pay a little extra, which I think is worth it. But they do have big accounts. I haven't seen anybody else with a 500K account. So again, here you need 30,000 of profit with a $24,000 drawdown. And I should add that to my calculator here. Oops, wrong one. This page. I'll add them. But anyway, if you look at the warrior for the 500Ks, so it's $800 a month, but 90% off. So that's $80 versus $50 if you have a $24,000 drawdown. So it's another $30 a month to get you an extra $6,000 of drawdown to play with. So it's quite a bit of wiggle room. That makes it a 1-to-1 ratio, which I like a lot. Now the gladiators, these are the paid. You pay more up front, then there's no conversion thing. And I did the know your customer verification thing. You gotta like take a picture of your driver's license and your face, and they validate who you are, that you're a real person, and all this stuff. I think I filled all this stuff out, so just gotta review it. Let's say like I actually signed up for 50K instant, so I paid $328. So I've got a 50K, the $3,000 drawdown, and there's no profit target obviously because this is a paid account. And I think the deal is you have to trade 3 trading days. I'm pretty new. I just signed up with these guys yesterday. Let's see. Instant Gladiator accounts. All right. So even though you're in the Gladiator pad, they're still actively evaluating your trading performance. So they're not looking for gamblers, and they have tools that they're kind of watching you to make sure you're not gambling. And oh yeah, so these numbers, that's how much extra it costs to increase your drawdown. That's a trailing drawdown. That's the TDD. You trade 40 contracts. So it's interesting. This account 50 versus 500. So this is 10x that one. So your profit target on the evaluations is 3,000 and 30,000. And here there's a weekly payout cap. So every week for the first 12 weeks that you get paid, you're limited to $1,250 per account of the 50K. And here it's 2,000. So, and you can have 20 accounts. It'd be expensive, but the plan is for me is pass this and use that money to buy more accounts. So 2,000 a week, so that's $8,000 a month. So it pays for a lot of accounts. And you have to trade 3 trading days. And it comes with a TickBlaze license. Now, I downloaded and installed TickBlaze. It's a lot different than NinjaTrader. And I kind of assumed you'd be getting access to NinjaTrader with a Rhythmic login, but it's not the case. So if you go to Ninja and try and add Top Shop Trader, it's not on the list. If you look at your RTrader Pro, the login it is, but not on NinjaTrader. So I asked them about it, and they said, "Oh well, they also own TickBlaze, and NinjaTrader is a competitor, so we don't allow that from NinjaTrader." I was like, "Well, that's kind of stupid because you allow other trading platforms like Sierra Charts, Quant Tower, Motivate, but not NinjaTrader, really." So I said they're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater with that one. Now it does come with a ETP license. That's the what do they call it? Enhanced trade. Let's see, I've got it done. ETP. I've been using them for a while. Expert trading programmers. That's it. So the thing I like about this one, it's very unique compared to other trade copiers. Like if you use like Replicanto with NinjaTrader, you have a limitation. You can only connect to one Rhythmic account because it's getting data, right? You can only get data from one source with Rhythmic unlike NinjaTrader at a time. So if you're logged into say an Apex account with Rhythmic and you try and log into your Molinex account, it'll say, "Oh, sorry, I already have a Rhythmic connection." I think there's ways around it using, I forget what it is on the RTrader Pro. It's what's the name of it? I'm logged in. I'm not gonna log out for that. I think there might be a way to do it, but I haven't really done that. So because I have this ETP trade copier, so this lets you connect to multiple Rhythmic accounts and also connect to your NinjaTrader. So the ETP cannot connect to Tradeovate. I guess it's a CQG connection. And Adrian, the programmer, I talked to him. He said it's too expensive. Yeah, he might do it in the future, but he said for now he's not planning on it. But the ETP trade copier lets you connect to multiple accounts, and including your NinjaTrader. So what I do is I log into NinjaTrader, right? Connect to my like an Apex account that's a Rhythmic and also one that's a Tradeovate. And then when I load up ETP trade copier, I tell it, well, just can log into connect to my NinjaTrader, and then it sees everything. So that's a way to get around the Tradeovate restriction with ETP trade copier. And it's a pretty nice one. It's it'll copy across multiple Rhythmics. So if you have like an Apex Rhythmic, a Top Step, I don't know if Top Step does a Rhythmic. I assume they do. Bullinox, Take Profit Trader, you have all these different ones, and you want to connect to them. They're all Rhythmic. That trade copier can do it. It's the only one I found that can do it. And just go aeromir.com/ETP. I can't remember. I think he gives a discount. Maybe a code Aeromir. I don't know. It's been a while. He set up that affiliate thing for me, so I think there's a discount. But it's a good trade copier. And again, it's the only one I've seen that lets you connect to multiple Rhythmic accounts at the same time. So that's pretty bonus there. The Hustler Goldilocks doing still up about 450. And again, if I look at my performance spreadsheet, it's a Google Sheet. That's updating every minute, so that's about right. About 420 for the day. And you know, Goldilocks will go through occasional kind of dry spells, if you will. And then it'll go back up. So it's about 420 for the day. And you know, Goldilocks will go through occasional kind of dry spells, if you will. And you know, Goldilocks will go through occasional kind of dry spells, if you will. And you know, Goldilocks will go through occasional kind of dry spells, if you will. Let me just show you the last, oh, how much time. Yeah, there's a bunch of shortcut keys you should know if you're using NinjaTrader. Control F loads the data series. So if you want to change it to like a 5-minute bar or whatever, or turn the text markers on and off, that's a good one to know. Or the number of days. Put it back here. So right now I've got a year loaded. Control S loads your strategies. And then Control I, indicators. And then Control T is the chart properties. So those 4 control keys are pretty handy. If you right click on the chart, you'll see them here, Control F, I, S, and T. So those are really good to know. But anyway, I've got a year of data loaded. So if I maximize this and just right click, strategy performance, this is for the last year. So I made $21,000, $2,000 drawdown. Here's your 10-to-1 profit to drawdown, 1.67 profit factor. It does include commissions, about $900. There's 297 trades in a year. So 1.19 trades per day. And averages about 1,800 a month. But if you look at, let's go to an analysis. And I don't know, but my training part of like looking at monthly. So here's your monthly analysis. So it had 3 months where it lost money, didn't lose a lot. Well, here the first month it made 2,800, then 1,900, and 1,500, lost 850, up 1,600, up 2,000, up 4,000, and lost a little bit, and then made almost 5,000 and 2,200 in May. So yeah, you do have losing months, but they're not very big. And that's kind of what you want for any equity chart. You want to see it slowly going from the bottom left to the upper right without a lot of big pullbacks here. We do a weekly chart or weekly numbers. There are a few. There's 1 week. So here you're down, you're up, you're down a little bit, up a little bit more. Down 500, up 1,100. So it recovers pretty fast. And you will get some multiple losing weeks in a row, but they're not big. You know, here you are, 1, 2, 3. So you're down about 1,500, and then the next week you made 1,300, and basically got it all back for the last 3 weeks. And here you're down, let's call it 800. Now you're down 5. Now you're down about 9. But then you got half of it back the next week. The week after that, you're like, you know, Bob's your uncle. You're up $2,400 that week, and then 1,600. And then we lost $100, made 380. You know, so it does have its little pullbacks, but again, if you look at the summary, the biggest pullback it had or drawdown for the whole year was $2,000. So the strategy that Bud, my training partner, comes up with, anytime it's over $2,500 for the year, he's like, nope, and he kills it and starts looking for something else. So this is designed for 50K prop firm accounts. And say you did one of those prop shop traders and you bump the drawdown up to like 3,000 to give yourself more of a safety net, then you shouldn't have any trouble passing. And remember, this is an average. So if you look at the monthly returns, some are higher, some are lower. But on average, it should do this. So it should take about 6 to 8 weeks to pass a typical account normally. Sometimes faster, sometimes slower, but that's on average. And then if you have, once you pass it, you got to fill up the drawdown, the safety net, or whatever you want to call it. You know, say you have a 50K account, you have to make 2,500 just to get the drawdown to stop at 50,100 with most places. And then you can start taking money out. So figure, 6 to 8 weeks for that after you pass, and then you're starting to make money. So, you know, and if you have your own account, you don't have all those goofy rules, right? So put 10 or 20,000 in an account and turn this on, you're pretty happy. So if you had like a $20,000 account, that's a 10% drawdown for 100% return in a year, which, ask any institutional investor, they'd kill for that. And Goldilocks is right now at $428. So it's almost halfway to its profit target for the day. And I've got it set up to exit at 3:21 p.m. Eastern. Again, I looked at a bunch of different exit times, but it defaulted to 3:30. But the profit was almost identical exiting at 3:21. So I figure, well, just get out 9 minutes earlier. You know, less time you're in the market, the better. Like Alex over at April Trend Trader, he is saying less trades, less mistakes. So Goldilocks takes like one, maybe two trades in a day typically. But the less time you're in the market, it's better. Now, one thing we didn't do is only back test. We don't care about reports or anything. We just let it rip. So this trades to FOMC, GDP, CPI, all that kind of stuff. And realistically, if you're going to trade this, if you know a report's coming out, you probably don't want to have this turned on. So, but the bottom line is, it probably won't hurt you if you do. However, if you do have a trade funder account, they do have rules on that. So trade funder, they have this economic calendar on your dashboard, and you have to avoid these times 2 minutes before to 2 minutes after. So if you're going to trade Goldilocks and this trade funder, you have to be aware of this and just make sure that you turn it off before and turn it back on if you want to keep trading that day. And don't trade through it or you blow the account. So that's something to be aware of. But Goldilocks is doing pretty well. Again, it's following the back testing that we did pretty closely. That's that one I read. This is a TradeMate account that I reset. I accidentally screwed it up and put 20 contracts on here instead of 2. And then when the trade got put on here, it immediately went long, and then it went against it with 20 contracts. And that was a little bit too much for that little 50K account. But again, there's no reason you can't just put some live money on this. It's pretty safe. You know, basically the idea with Goldilocks is looking for a trend, and it's looking for a pullback. So if we look at the chart, here the trend is clearly up, so it's looking for a long, and then a pullback. Didn't really pull back a lot. I might talk to Bud and maybe have it have some kind of minimum pullback. I don't know, ticks or percentage or something. You know, ideally you'd have it pull back a little bit more, but it's an algo, right? So it's a fairly simple one too. When Bud gave me the code, it was something like 160, 200 lines of Ninja script. It isn't a lot. So I worked on it for a while, and then I did some C++, C programming years ago, like back in the 80s when I was in the Air Force. I was doing squadron and then flight and then squadron scheduling. And the schedulers had this giant legal pad with this grid thing on it. And they went through those giant gum erasers like one every week. They were just making changes like crazy. So I had actually done a little coding. We had like a rule of thumb when I was a T-38 instructor. Just go, whatever the distance is you're going, take 10% of that, and that's the altitude you should fly at. So for example, if you're going like 180 nautical miles away, go to 18,000 feet, and that's kind of the guideline. But I couldn't find anywhere that guideline existed in writing. So I went into the books and wrote a program to calculate how much fuel you're going to have at the initial approach fix, flying at different altitudes. And basically, unless you had a headwind of like over 100 miles an hour, 100 knots, then that affected it. But if it was less than 100 knot headwind, then it was always best to go as high as you could, like, 39,000 feet, even if you're only going like, 200 nautical miles away. You'd have the most gas in the initial approach fix. So I gave this briefing to the Stand of L guys, their monthly meeting. And we're walking out of the room, and the ops officer intercepts me. He says, "Hey, I need you to help the squadron schedulers." It's like, okay. So I wrote the squadron scheduling program, and it was in C++. But this is back in, when was this? 89, I guess it was. Quite a while ago. And then I got tired of supporting all these different configurations, all different memory, CPU, all this different kind of computers. So I kind of backed away from that kind of development. And then the web was starting to get popular. So I started to do more web programming. And in fact, the Air Force contacted me about 10 years after I retired and say, "Hey, we're still using your program. We need to make some changes." Like, oh, I don't even have the source code or a compiler anymore. So I'm familiar with C programming, but not C sharp, but it's very close. But it's not Ninja script either. So I actually hired Phil, a guy in California who is a Ninja script developer, has got more experience with this stuff, and he cleaned up my Ninja script code quite a bit. I was using like the AI tools to help, which are great, but they're not as good as an experienced developer. Like I noticed, like I've been doing cold fusion development since 90, was it 96? So almost 30 years. So if I ask Claude to do something and it's not quite right, I'll make suggestions. Why don't we do it this way? It's like, oh, great suggestion. That rewrites it for me. But I don't have that insight with NinjaScript. So that's why I got Phil involved, and he rewrote it and did a great job. And the strategy is running pretty flawlessly now. And the code's very tight. And I used Claude to review Phil's code, and he made a few little tweaks to kind of get it production ready, but it was he did a good job. And Bud's got a couple more strategies. He's got this reversal strategy and a price pattern strategy. And I'm trying to test them. He gave me a bunch of settings this weekend, so I got to make sure I got them all set up right. And I might set up separate workspaces for each one just to keep it decluttered. Like this V2 is slower than V1. This one has more entry filters, I think he said. And I'm not sure why the V1 hasn't taken any trades because it's pretty active. Let's see, where's the V1? I didn't even have it on our chart. V1. I got it on the Sim 101 account. And that's up. It did take a trade, but should be up more than that. So I got to figure all this out. I just got all this stuff yesterday or Saturday. But if you look at here's like MES, it's a 15-minute. Look at the strategy performance. This is a year, up 16,000, drawdown, a little bit higher than Bud's threshold, 2,700. So if you see that, then normally just drop the contracts down. I don't know what the contracts are on this. I'll have to ask Bud about it. Okay, this has got 2 contracts. You probably want to make it 1, or do something like that Prop Shot Trader and get an account with at least a $3,000 drawdown. So remember, you can do those 50Ks and bump up the drawdown to 3,000, then this would be fine. So in that case, then you'd have, let's see, 16,000 of profit with a $2,700 drawdown. Nice profit factor, a little low win rate. So you could have several losses in a row. Now I do have another tool on my website I built, consecutive loss probabilities. So we can plug in this 44.99%. And we can see if there's 220, 250 trading days in a year, you're going to have a reasonable probability of having 9 losers in a row. So that's why you want a little bit higher win rate if you can. However, if you just turn it on in conjunction with other trade bots like NQ or Goldilocks, then this might be in a drawdown and Goldilocks not. So then your account's not drawing down. This is the MNQ, and that was NES. So this one only had it's on a year. This is only a quarter. I'll only put a year in for this. And remember, Control F is the short key for this. Let's put a year in. Doesn't take long with 15-minute bars. It's calculating, maximizes. There we go. All right, looks like it's done. So I'll go strategy performance for a year. And down, look at that, $1,300 to make 9,000. So made about $750 a month on average, but low drawdowns, 62% wins. So that's pretty decent. So again, if you go back to my probability of loss calculator, 62.5. So in a year, you can expect maybe 5 losses in a row would not be unusual. 6 would be like every year and a half kind of thing. And 7 losses in a row would be like every 4 years. So not very common. And again, these are still in development. So Bud just gave me all the code and the settings for them. So I still have to go through those. Looks like gold is, it wants to go higher, but the sellers are kind of blocking it. So at some point they'll run out and I think it's going to go higher. That's my guess would be. And we're getting, it's easy to see a trend line here. We're getting higher lows here. And it's kind of forming a triangle, right? So let's see. I don't think I have zoom it on here, do I? Oh, yeah, I do. So if you have like this trend line and this line, it's like it's forming a wedge here, and it looks like it wants to break out to the upside. But that's the beauty of having like this Goldilocks strategy, this trades for you. So you don't have to think, you just turn it on. Now, I did add these buttons just in case you want to trade with a prop firm. It gives the ability to turn the shorts or longs off or on. So, if you're looking at a longer term trend, maybe a daily chart or a weekly chart, you say, well, the really long term trend is the up, and just turn the shorts off and only take directions in the trend of the very longer term trend. But this does a pretty good job. I think I was just looking at one time frame. It could be wrong. I have to go look at the code, see what he's doing, but it's a pretty good day on this Apex account. Get pretty close to passing that. And I was running an option training room in the morning, which is why I was never talking on the YouTube live stream, but I decided there were only a couple people that ever showed up to that. Actually, right now we've got more and would show up on that futures trading room. So, or the options trading room. So I'm going to keep this going and I'll basically stop doing that other one so I can do this because I think this will be better. And you can see how Goldilocks is going and the other stuff. Like, again, the trend candles with Bob Amico with Targets Trading Pro. Or you go to aeromir.com/TTP. Now, again, I've got them turned off because, where is it? There we go. So the ES hit its profit target of $400, and then NQ hit its stop of $750 drawdown. So the trend candles are down 350, well, $20, $30, something like that. And then tomorrow they'll be up. Yeah. And then I got to get these all sorted out, these sim accounts. This 743, that's a live Goldilocks trade account. That's the intention for it. Except I didn't get it hooked up completely, so I forget why it's at 395. I think I took an NQ trade just to, because the NQ looked like it needed to go short. It did. And then I grabbed these two 250s and kind of focusing on this one. Because again, it's only like less than $3,000 away from passing. And then that Prop Shop Trader. I took one. Oh, it was the Goldilocks. It was down like $200, and I just closed it. I should have left it on because that'll be up like 400, 450. But the intention with that is I'm just gonna let Goldilocks do that, and then add in Bud's other the price pattern one and the reversal one on ES and NQ. So the idea is to have like 6 or 7 strategies running that are each positive expectancy, that are each contributing. So, trying to get like 5 to 10,000 a month on one account, but then you can trade copy, right? So Apex, you can have 20 accounts. Prop Shop Trader, you can have 20. Bullinox, you can have 11. Well, just those 3, there's like 51 accounts. So if you can average, oh, say you average, I don't know, even $100 a day, that's $5,000 a day with 50 accounts. Now it's going to cost you some money to get those set up, of course. So bootstrap it, set up a couple and then make some money and then use that money to buy more. And I would even say, looks like gold is rallying a little bit. I don't know, that's ES. That's gold doing. Oh, it's still trying to break through here. Still up about 430. But if you have some money with a prop account, take some of it and put it in a live account because there's no rules if you're with your own money, right? And then the other one is buy more prop accounts or spend it, whatever, but just kind of bootstrap it. And if you get to the point like Matt Miller where you're making, tens of $1,000s a month, and like he got bored of his 50K accounts and just signed up for 2,300K accounts and passed them all in a day. I mean, like 21,000 profit on each account. But I think I saw him do this with 50K accounts, and he was trading. The max was 10 contracts. He was trading 5. So if he was doing that on the 300Ks at Apex, you can trade. Let's see, what is it? 37, I think. 35. So he was probably trading like 17 contracts, and then so just for grins, let's see if we did 17 contracts. Oh, let me set it to a 300K account. So you need 59 points, but 21 points blows the account. So you gotta be really careful. And I know Matt, a lot of times he'll look for 10 or 15 point trades. So if he's going for, say 12, he probably had 5 trades or so to pass. And you can set this to 0 or 1 and then need a little bit less. So you can see how hard it is to pass that. 21 points and you blow the account, but 59 to pass it. So you gotta basically scalp your way there. Hey, Tom. Check support. Support at Slack. I saw the one with Thomas. In fact, we're going to talk at 12:30 Eastern. Hey, Tom. Let's see, Sally, for trading Goldilocks in her personal account, what do you think? Toss would work, IB. If you're going to trade your own money with futures, dude, you get a NinjaTrader brokerage account. They have the best margins by far. If you go to NinjaTrader's margin thing, I can show you. Let's see, NinjaTrader margins. Let's go look it up. Margin requirements. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, he's here. Okay. I gotta go. The landscaper's here. I'll be right back. I'll just leave the screen on. But basically, get a NinjaTrader account. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So we're gonna have the front yard sodded and have the sprinkler system checked, make sure it's working. We had a leak in the back a few years ago, so we haven't used it. And I went to Belgium, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago in August for a month when Gabby's mom was sick, and all the grass died. So it's we're just gonna get some nice sod in the front, make sure the sprinkler system's working, and then that'll be an improvement. Clicker still up just under 400 on Goldilocks. I'm surprised it didn't push higher yet, but you know, if it makes a big move, typically it consolidates sideways. It goes up and down. So big move up, goes sideways, big move down, goes sideways. But we still have, what is it? About noon. Yeah, we have about 3.5 hours to go. So it can easily push higher. Yeah, we're trading the August contract. If you do a search on AI like Perplexity, so gold expires every 2 months. So February, April, June, August, October. No, I think June expires pretty soon. I know NinjaTrader wanted me to roll it over. That's another Google search here. Hey, Tom. Guess I could look at the volume. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should do like a Zoom meeting and then live stream the Zoom meeting. That might be fun. Yeah, it looks like NQ's railing still. I guess I'll look into doing like a Zoom webinar and streaming that. Oh, nice job. That's, oh, that's interesting. So apparently I can allow streaming meetings. Oh, no, no. Like it's confusing meetings and webinars and not to play around with it. Okay, D, I can show you. So this chart has a year loaded. This is the last June 1st last year to today of 21,000 with a $2,000 drawdown. Pretty nice profit factor. 56.57% winners. Average is $71 a trade. 1.19 trades per day. So figure about 6 trades per week on average, which makes sense because the average time in market's like 6.5 hours. Longest flat period, 3 and 7.75 days. It's interesting. So those are the numbers for the last year. Now I do have a performance URL as a spreadsheet that keeps track of it. And I try and get this hooked up to real time. This is updating the price of gold every minute. And that's my entry price and the current price, and it calculates with the commissions and everything what the P&L is. So it just updated. It's changed from a 6 to an 8. So it's yeah, up almost 400 today. But this is since May 1st. I'm kind of forward testing it. So these are on the VPS in real time. So these aren't back tested. Last week was a bit of annoying, but I mean, I had a couple of losers. Monday, Tuesday weren't too bad. That's the biggest loser we've had, and then a little bit smaller, but then we recover a little bit on Friday. You can see that here. Here's the start of the week. So we came back about what, 1,000, 1,100 for the week. Oh wait, so I ended up 34, a little less than 1,000, 932 or something for the week. And we've already gotten back almost 400 today. So we'll see where it ends up. And the nice thing with Goldilocks, it's slow. You know, it's 4-minute bars. Stays in a trade a long time. I've been doing the prop firm stuff for, I don't know, a year and a half. And I tend to trade on too short a time frame, I think. So it's nice to kind of slow down a little bit. And this is actually pretty suitable for a longer, for a live account. You know, because it's pretty controlled drawdowns. But let me go to my Zoom account. See if I can enable live streaming. Maybe I already did. I don't know. The account settings. Where are they? Meeting. There's so many different options. It looks like I do have allow live streaming of meetings checked. Hmm. Damn. So, dang. Okay, I think this is anything else. I have so many functions. It's crazy. Allow live streaming of meetings. Check. Custom live streaming service. Looks like I have to configure it after I create a meeting. All new. Well, looks like we're generally, yeah. I got the 450. Yeah, every time what I'm gonna have to do is set up like a webinar and then live stream the webinar. Are you talking about YouTube? Oh yeah, I don't think you can. Oh, I don't know. Let me ask. Perplexity. So let me ask. Apparently there's something called a co-stream or a guest stream. YouTube live with guest forms streamed together. Or add guest or guest cat in the YouTube live control panel. All right, well, let's see if I can find that. Where would it be? Commentary. Okay, never mind. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see. YouTube Studio. Sorry, I'm at channel all settings. Let's see where you can add a guest. Oh, says add a guest is most YouTube creators do not see it. It's experimental or limited to selected users. Yeah, I think the best. Well, there are some third-party tools apparently. Or what's that? I'm just doing all that. Oh yeah, so this is what they're suggesting, that I use Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, Discord, whatever, and then share my spinner window in OBS, and then configure OBS to stream to YouTube. Oh, OBS is already streaming to YouTube, so my idea just creating a Zoom meeting or webinar and then live streaming that, that's really all I need. Yeah, exactly. So Thomas Byron's workshop is being pirated somewhere, and he has an idea of how to mitigate that. But we have a meeting in about 20 minutes to go over it. Yeah, I mean, that's the bane of having an online class or course is, and I'll get like 1 to 3 chargebacks a year. It's usually somebody like in Russia. Not saying anything bad about people in Russia, but maybe their leader. But that's usually where it is. So somebody buys a course like Amy's A14 or whatever, and then they download everything, then they charge back the charge. So I get a ding on my business. I have to pay all the fees for that. And then they just stick it on a site and sell it for $30. It's really hard to stop. That's one reason I like trade alerts that are real time. because you can't copy those and sell them. So, like Amy and I talked about this, and basically it's you just got to consider it a form of advertising. Somebody pays $30, that says something about them, but if they like it and they want more, then they got to come back to the source to get the good stuff. Obviously, if you buy it from some Russian site, you're not going to be able to send Amy an email and ask her to clarify something. Oh, absolutely, Tom. Hey, Tom, we can probably do this right now, in fact. My personal URL, we used it the other day, that Zoom room. They still have that? All right, well, why don't we meet on there, and then we'll see if we can get this meeting thing working. All right, I'm going to start my Zoom personal meeting then. And if I see you in there, I'll let you join. Well, if it's going to affect my talking here, probably not, but. All right, I got that room open. In fact, we can just use Zoom for the phone-in part, I think. Put my headphones on. Oh, is that ads on? Oh. So I guess I'm going to enable the system audio on the live stream. I wonder, let me see. Tell me if you guys can still hear.
I'm getting the echo. Let me kill the live stream.
All right. I've got my microphone going into OBS.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like duplicated or anything, or if there's an echo.
Yeah, well, I've got the live stream running. Let me.
Yeah, so
okay, I just removed the echo, but I had to kill the live stream on YouTube to do that.
oh yeah. All right, well, I know they can hear me.
I could have disabled sound on YouTube. Let me try that.
I guess what my question is, if somebody's not logged into YouTube and this meeting, do they hear me once or twice? Is there like an echo, or I don't know?
Well, when I had sound on the live stream, I could hear the echo back when I said something. I just disabled the sound, but now I can still see the live stream.
Yeah.
Good. Hi, Thomas.
Hey.
Yes.
Sorry, I missed the first part. What
Oh,
is the?
we're experimenting. I'm still live streaming on YouTube, and we're just trying to experiment. If I have a Zoom meeting, how can I get like anybody like you or Tom to join in on the conversation and still do the live stream?
No, since I thought this was the meeting to discuss the security, I hope it's not live streamed.
Yeah, it's live streamed,
YouTube.
right? It's live streamed on YouTube right now. So
okay, so better maybe. I mean, I'm. It's probably better to reset for a security.
Hold on, Tomas. This was a test. If this is
Okay.
something that Tom needs to discuss with you, I can drop. You guys can do
No,
your
no,
thing.
no.
and
You
keep
you
it
have to
going.
stay, but I would like, since we are trying to beat the copycats, I like not to let them know on YouTube Live how we do it.
Yeah, that's kind of like Signalgate, right? They're
Yeah,
just good.
exactly. That would be pretty dumb. I mean, I'm
Hold
saying
on, Tomas. What was that password again? I missed it the first
Yeah,
time.
can you spell it out for me? Yeah.
exactly. No, that's all the codes, all the things, you know. No, but I actually, since we are here, Tom, since your expertise on computers and stuff, maybe you should join us to give us advice if you have nothing better to do.
I remember I'm a database guy. I'm not a security
No,
guy.
but this is has
I
to do
know a
with
little
database.
about a lot about a little, and a lot about
No, I know,
nothing.
but you know more than me for sure. And it is all about database, this one.
Well, I'll be glad to offer what expertise I have.
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm sure you have some insight on what we're going to do here. I mean, what I think we're going to do. But anyway, you're streaming this live, so
So let me do this. Let me turn off the audio on the live stream on YouTube, and then the three of us can talk.
no, but I need to share some my monitor with all the stuff.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sharing a different screen on my computer for the live stream.
Okay, I want to tell you this. Can we be double sure that you're not streaming this or recording on YouTube?
Well, the main way is just turn it end the stream, so I can do that.
Yeah,
and
but
then
why? Yeah, why or do it some? It won't take much. It's half an hour. Just
yeah. So let me end the stream. I mean, Goldilocks is doing its thing. It's up $360 right now. And I'll come back tomorrow, and I think we can set this up the same way. Just have a meeting, and then Tom or Thomas, whoever, we can talk, and it'll be on the live stream. And then I think that should work. So this is just an experiment for that. So I'm going to end the YouTube stream, but I'll keep this Zoom meeting open. Then we can talk about all this other stuff.
okay, with
Well,
some
I'll step
security,
away
I
for a
hope.
moment, then I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, everyone on the stream, I'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for coming.